So you've probably heard this term Web3 getting thrown around a lot, right? What does it actually mean? Is it really the next big thing for the internet or just a bunch of hype? Well, we're going to break it all down right now and figure out what the supposed future of the web is all about. But before we dive in, let me ask you a quick question. Think about that photo you posted or that video you uploaded. Who really owns that stuff? Is it you? Or is it the giant company whose platform you put it on? That question, that's right at the heart of the internet we use every single day. Because, the internet we have now, the one run by just a handful of big names, that wasn't the original plan. It's evolved a lot, and it looks like it's getting ready to evolve all over again. So, to really get where we're going, we've got to look at where we've been. You can pretty much break the whole story of the internet down into three big eras. First, there was Web 1. This was the read-only internet, basically a bunch of digital brochures. Then Web 2 came along, the read/write web. That's what we have now. It's social, it's interactive, we all create stuff for it. And now we're talking about Web 3, the read/write/own web. And that last word right there, own, that is the absolute game changer. Yeah, Web 1 was kind of like a giant online library. You could look at all the pages, but you couldn't really add anything yourself. Web 2 flipped that script entirely and turned all of us into creators. Suddenly, we could upload, we could share, we could connect. But that amazing leap forward came with a pretty big catch. And here it is. This is the catch: centralization. In our Web 2 world, just a few massive companies own the playgrounds we all play in. They make the rules, they can change the rules whenever they want, and, most importantly, they own all the data, our data. So this is the exact problem that Web3 is trying to fix. It's a totally new way of thinking about the internet, and it's built on a radical new foundation, the blockchain. So what is it really? Simply put, Web3 is an internet that's supposed to be owned by us, the users and the builders. The whole idea is to take the power away from these huge corporations and hand it back to the people who are actually creating and using the web. And the promise here is a big one. It's an internet where you, not some company, own your data, your identity, your digital stuff. There are no central gatekeepers calling all the shots, and the whole system is built to be open and transparent from the ground up. Okay, so that's the big vision, but how does any of this actually work? Let's get into the weeds a little bit and look at the key principles that make Web3 tick. The absolute heart of Web3 is this idea of decentralization. So forget these giant single-company server farms. In Web3, the data isn't locked up in one place. It's spread out across a huge network of computers all over the world, all working together. And this comparison makes it crystal clear. Think about it. On YouTube today, they can delete your video, they can change the algorithm, they can shut down your channel, just like that. They have total control. In a Web3 version of that, no single company has that power. Your content lives on the network, which means it belongs to you. Okay, principle number 2 is true ownership. This is where things like crypto and NFTs come in. They aren't just buzzwords. They're the tools that use the blockchain to prove, without a doubt, that you own your digital stuff. Here's a great way to picture this. In a game you play today, if you buy a cool sword, it's stuck in that game forever. You're basically just renting it. But in a Web3 game, that sword is an NFT. It's an asset that you actually own. You could sell it, you could trade it, maybe even take it with you to another game. It's yours. So what makes all this run automatically? Something called smart contracts. The best way to think of them is like a super smart vending machine. You put in the right input, and the code automatically spits out the result based on rules that are locked in. There's no need for a middleman like a bank or a lawyer. Let's use a real-world example. Imagine a rental agreement set up as a smart contract. It would automatically send your rent payment every month. And when your lease is up and everything's good, boom, your security deposit is sent back to you instantly. No chasing down a landlord or dealing with agents. It's all handled by the code. Now, this isn't just some sci-fi theory. This stuff is being built and used right now. Let's take a look at a couple of areas where Web3 is already making waves. First off, there's DeFi, which stands for Decentralized Finance. You can think of it like a brand new financial system being built on the blockchain. People are using it to trade, borrow, lend, and earn interest on their crypto, all without having to go through a traditional bank. And let's talk about NFTs again. I know, they get a bad rap as just being silly JPEGs, But the technology itself is really just about proof of ownership. An NFT can be anything. It could be your ticket to a concert, the digital deed to your house, basically any unique digital item that you can prove is yours and can't be faked. And of course, we're seeing it in gaming with this new play-to-earn model. The idea here is that the time and effort you put into a game and the items you get have actual real-world value because you own them as NFTs. You're not just playing for fun, you're actually building value that you can take with you. All right, so we've looked at the past, the core ideas, and some of the things happening right now. So what does this all add up to? What's really next for the web? If you take away just one thing, let it be this. This chart shows the fundamental shift we're talking about. We're moving from a world where companies own your data to one where you own your data. From centralized platforms to decentralized networks. From an economy based on selling ads to one that could actually reward you for participating. It's a huge shift from closed, opaque systems to open, transparent ones. When you boil it all down, the vision for Web3 is really about building a better, fairer internet. One where creators get paid what they're worth, where communities actually own and run their own platforms, and where every single one of us has true ownership over our digital lives. But look, with big promises like these always come big questions. The tech is still super new, there are a ton of challenges to overcome. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. Is Web3 going to deliver on this incredible promise for a better internet? Or is it all just hype? The next chapter is being written